The smell hit me before the cup even touched my lips. It wasn't the usual comforting aroma of roasted beans that filled the air each morning. It was off, bitter in a way that made my stomach twist. My husband, Ahmed, stood there smiling faintly, holding his own cup. "Try it," he said softly, almost too softly. Something about his tone made me pause. I forced a small smile, masking the unease rising in me. "Thanks," I murmured, taking the mug. Just then, my sister-in-law Zara walked in from the kitchen, still in her nightgown, her hair messy and eyes heavy from sleep. "You two started coffee without me again?" she teased, reaching for her cup on the counter. That's when a strange impulse came over me. Without thinking too much, I said, "Wait, Zara, let's swap. Yours looks stronger. I need it today." I laughed, trying to sound casual. She shrugged, smiled, and handed me her mug, taking mine instead. What happened next still haunts me. She took a sip first. Within seconds, her face twisted, and the cup fell from her hands, shattering on the floor. She gasped, clutching her throat. My heart stopped. "Zara! What's wrong?" I screamed, rushing to her side. Ahmed froze, his face drained of color. His eyes widened, not in shock or confusion, but something darker. Guilt. Everything after that happened in a blur. Zara was rushed to the hospital. I rode with her, trembling, praying under my breath. My mind raced back to that moment, to the smell, to Ahmed's odd tone, to his sudden coldness these past few weeks. By the time the doctors stabilized her, I was shaking uncontrollably. The tests confirmed it. The coffee had traces of poison. Not enough to kill instantly, but enough to make someone very sick. And suddenly, everything I'd ignored came flooding back. Ahmed's late nights, his phone always face down, the whispered arguments between him and Zara when they thought I wasn't around. She was his half-sister, yes, but they shared nothing but tension. Or so I thought. When I confronted him later that night, his face was a mask of fear and fury. "Why, Ahmed?" I asked, my voice breaking. "Why would you do this?" He didn't answer at first. His jaw clenched, and for a moment, I saw the man I had married. The calm, gentle soul who used to write love notes on sticky paper. But then, his expression hardened. "She was going to ruin everything," he hissed. "She knew things about me, about us, about the money. She was threatening to tell you." I couldn't breathe. "So you tried to—" "Don't say it," he snapped, but it was too late. The truth was already out, and the man I loved had become a stranger in front of me. The police were called. Zara told them everything once she regained consciousness, about how Ahmed had been stealing from his company, about how she found out, and how she'd warned him she'd expose him if he didn't confess. He thought the only way to silence her was to make it look like an accident. And that cup of coffee was his weapon. Only it wasn't Zara who was supposed to drink it. It was me. When the officer told me that, my knees gave out. I felt cold all over, as if my heart had stopped beating. Ahmed had wanted me gone. The man who promised to protect me had planned my death. Months later, I stood in court, my hands trembling as I faced him one last time. He didn't look up. His face was pale, defeated, hollow. When the verdict was announced, 20 years in prison, I didn't feel joy or anger, only emptiness. Zara stood beside me, her hand gripping mine. She had forgiven him, in a way I couldn't yet. She told me quietly, "Maybe Allah saved you that morning for a reason." Her words echoed in my mind long after. Now, every morning when I make my own coffee, I think about that day, the smell, the fear, the betrayal. But I also think about what came after, the strength I found when I thought I had none, the faith that rebuilt me, and the reminder that sometimes Allah protects us in ways we don't understand at the time. That strange smell wasn't a warning from the coffee. It was a whisper from destiny, steering me away from a life built on lies. I learned that not everyone who says, "I love you," means it from the heart. And not every heartbreak is a curse. Some are blessings in disguise. Because the day I swapped that cup, I didn't just save my life. I found the courage to start a new one.